agenda is coming to you from the Cyber Hub in Gurgaon, which is right on the National Highway. This place, which was a hub, which was quite a hub for restaurants and other kinds of things, is now facing a huge threat because of the Friday order from Supreme Court, where Supreme Court clarified that all drinking places, all liquor shops within 500 meters of a state or a national highway have to shut down. So overnight this place, as you can see now, any other day before this, it would be very difficult to even hear myself over here. But it bore a deserted look this weekend, which is the peak time for a commercial hub like this. And actually this kind of thing is being seen across the country. Protests today taking place from all over, from Chandigarh to Maharashtra to even places in Tamil Nadu. Everybody is impacted. But the other side says that, look, it's a small price to pay because 1 in every 4 deaths that take place is happening on the road because of drunken driving, and they feel, this was the Ministry of Road Transport which argued against it, they said that it's a small price to pay. Yes, a lot of these places will be hit by tourism. Yes, people will lose their jobs, but they say it's a small price to pay for the right to life, for the right to safety. Today, Tourism Minister Mahesh Sharma has said that they will try and work out a way. But we on Agenda are going to ask the audience members and the stakeholders, will this solve the problem of drunken driving and deaths? But first, let's just hear what the Tourism Minister said.
कि देश के पर्यटन को किसी तरह से नुकसान ना पहुंचे, उसके तहत हम सभी लोगों ने, सभी FHRI, होटल इंडस्ट्री, सभी के लोगों के जो हमारे लीडर्स हैं, उनके साथ आज बृहद चर्चा हुई है। इस चर्चा को हम अपनी सरकारी स्तर पर भी और हमारे कानूनविद जो हैं उनके साथ चर्चा कर ताकि इस जो हमारी शराब पीने की जो एक गलत आदत है लोगों की और उसके बाद गाड़ी चलाने की, इससे कैसे निजात पाई जाए, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ पर्यटन उद्योग को भी नुकसान ना पहुंचे। इसके लिए हम सब लोग बैठेंगे दोबारा और कानूनविदों के साथ सहायता लेकर हम किस तरह से एक बीच का रास्ता निकाल सकते हैं, जिससे पर्यटन उद्योग भी हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
So hotels and restaurant associations are all protesting, and members, representatives of that, we have Rahul Singh of the Beer Cafe joining us over here. We also have Ishan Grover, who's a micro brewer. Is that how I would describe you? He's over here as well because he says many of his outlets across the country is impacted and they fear that many people are going to lose their jobs. We also have joining us senior advocate P.P. Rao. P.P. Rao, along with the Attorney General and a host of other top lawyers from across the country who fought in the Supreme Court, trying to tell the bench that perhaps this kind of ban is not the way to go. But of course, Supreme Court didn't listen to them. And we have Sajji Cherian, the person from Save Life Foundation, who are fighting against all these people and saying that thank God we've got this kind of a ban going on. So our first talking point really is, will this, the whole objective has been to reduce the high number of road accidents, which of course statistics say India has the highest number of road accidents in the world. Will this solve this problem? Sajji Cherian, many people say this kind of ban won't impact. In fact, in the Supreme Court they said that even in a place like Gujarat, which is dry, you still have road accidents due to drunken driving, so a ban is not the way to go. What would you tell them, Sajji Cherian?
Well, first of all, I think we should not use the term ban. I think it's a Supreme Court order which specifically talks about how the liquor vends as well as bars and restaurants which serve alcohol adjacent to the national highways or the state highways need to be moved. So in effective, it is not a ban against alcohol, but a ban against where alcohol is being provided. That is the first aspect. Second, you see, I mean, I represent the road safety community. We are a community, which was formed because it's a public health crisis. Road accident deaths, we are number one in the world in road accident deaths. We lose close to almost 1.5 lakhs every year and these are Indians, right? So these are people who actually go for their own livelihood, and they get killed on the road. We have around 5.5 lakh people who get seriously injured every year. In the last 5 years alone, and this is government data, and as you know, a lot of these data are underreported. Over 35,000 people died in deaths directly related to alcohol. Over 1 lakh people got seriously injured because of that. Now, easy accessibility of alcohol is what was petitioned in the Supreme Court by different groups. And the reason was that national highways, it was easily accessible for drivers and on the state highways as well, especially commercial truck drivers, where liquor vends were there on the side of the road and they could drink and they drive. From the perspective of road safety, there are a couple of things that work against drink driving. One, absolutely, it's enforcement. Enforcement is something which is crucial. So even if there is a ban, I won't say ban, but even if there is a movement away from national highways, but if there is no enforcement, this particular order will fall flat. Second aspect is we can't have easy accessibility of alcohol on the road with advertisement enticing drivers who are driving to come and have a drink and then come back on the road. I mean, this is asking for deaths on the road. So from the road safety perspective, we welcome the Supreme Court's order on this aspect.
Okay, but I see that you didn't really respond to when I said that will this move bring down the number of deaths or not? Can it be directly correlated to that? P.P. Rao, before I go across to the other parties who are impacted, I wanted to ask you, sir, now people are all looking at legal ways out, and perhaps the center is also indicating that by the statement of the minister. Maharashtra has talked about denotifying the state highways. Is that a possible solution for everybody then?
I believe some other places also, probably Chandigarh administration and some others have resorted to the same method of denotifying highways. Now, by denotifying the highways, they think that they can circumvent the order. But that only means again another round of litigation. And the paper, once they move the court can say it is open to the Supreme Court to clarify that as on the date of the order, that is 15th December 2016, whatever the highways were there, the order is applicable to that, restriction is applicable to that. And once they clarify that, then this conversion of denotifying highways may not help. The basic point which I have to understand is this. There is this menace of drunken driving which cannot be denied. And there is also drunken driving leads to deaths of passengers who use the way and who travel in vehicles, etc. That also has not been denied. The only question is how far this particular restriction will be efficacious. That is the question. That we have time alone can tell us. But all that we do is, even in the existing excise laws, there are restrictions. For instance, you cannot have a liquor vend near about 100 meters within the radius of a school or a place of worship. There are restrictions. This one more restriction is placed now by the court after in public interest that they should move away from the highway by 500 meters. This is the restriction which has been placed now. And they had enough time in the sense the order was passed on 15th December 2016 and it was effective from 1st April 2017. And those of them who wanted to readjust themselves, shift away from the highways, and they had all the time to do that. But even it is not possible in all cases to find an alternative place. That real difficulty also is there. And also another aspect of the case is, normally the court hears all affected parties before passing an order. But in this case it so happened only 3 state governments were before the court, and other public interest litigants were there before the court. But all the liquor vends were affected.
Okay, sir.
They were not before the court. The licenses were not before the court. Yes.
Okay, so actually I wanted to take one of the points that you raised to the representatives now who are fighting, who are appealing to the government. Now you heard what Mr. Rao said, that you knew this was happening because the first original order came in December. 15th. So wasn't there a way that, everyone's talking about the revenue and people losing jobs. but couldn't people have made plan Bs or Cs when the first original order came?
We did. We actually filed a clarification application. We had a AOR and we got a senior legal counsel to represent us. This is between the hotel bodies and the restaurant bodies. And that application was there. We were heard in the court. And it's a very clear-cut case. We've taken opinions from ex-justices of Supreme Court and High Court. We also got the opinion from the Attorney General, which everybody's read. So we've gone through that. The opinion was very clear that this is for liquor vends. The genesis of this entire
So you didn't
case.
plan for everybody being all restaurants being shut down?
Hotels and restaurants were not part of 15 December. They were never part of the 15
Okay, and the
December.
other thing that you're all appealing is the denotification. But Mr. P.P. Rao points out that that's going to entail much more litigation.
So denotification is a state matter. Obviously, as a body of restaurants and hotels, we have no privy to that. But I can tell you that the order of the 15th December, it was for liquor vends. It was for portable liquor. When you buy liquor off premise, you can carry it in your car, on your motor, or you could carry it on heavy motors, and you could be drinking. The whole genesis started from there. What you do in a hotel and a restaurant is on-premise consumption. It is a service. It's got nothing to do with sales.
Okay, Ishan, I want to, just behind you are young students who actually support this ban. When people say that people are dying and India really has the highest rates of road accidents and drunken driving is one of the most important causes behind it, don't you think then revenue and all shouldn't matter?
I agree, revenue shouldn't matter, but the question here is, what about the job loss? What about people who... There are thousands of people who just on Friday night don't know what is going to happen next month.
But you had time.
No, we didn't. Like Rahul said, it was never meant. How can you compare Thekas with restaurants? How can you compare Cyber Hub with a Theka which can be moved from 500 meters overnight? There people invest close to 5 crores, one single outlet. There are hundreds of people, whether it's your housekeeping staff, servers, bartenders, managers, they're working here. How can you move an entire industry?
Can I get these young women, you're hearing... One second, yeah. What did
But
you, why do you, what would you
drunken
say?
driving will be safe. Like people will think about diverting from highway if there will be a ban about it. They will be at least thinking about it once.
So it is a deterrent according
It should
to
be
you.
there.
Okay, you wanted to say what?
Yes, and I think we are actually posing a question on freedom of one's choice, because to consume an alcohol is one's choice, and we are actually posing a question on that freedom. Where is that freedom of choice going?
Saji Sherin, what would you say to people who are saying this is the state being a nanny state? What about freedom of choice?
Well, I think what is paramount is public health. I think that covers the aspect of right to life is enshrined in the Constitution. I think all the other freedoms that people have a choice to do whatever they want is obviously comes under that aspect that freedom is subservient to right to life for everybody. One's freedom to drink should not endanger somebody else's right to walk on the road. But just to clarify on one aspect that is being discussed is about liquor vends. As Sunitra, you have already pointed out that there is already moves to denotify roads, so there is already work happening behind closed doors, where states have in fact started denotifying state highways. National highways they cannot do, but there are stretches which have already been done in the past where they have denotified national highways. In fact, liquor vends they started the move towards converting the retail shops, which are these liquor vends, into bars, where people could sit and drink, so that they could circumvent this order about liquor vends.
Actually,
I think there is a big apparatus which is moving towards.
I spoke to the Excise Minister Chandrasekhar Bavakule. I spoke to the Excise Minister Chandrasekhar Bavakule of Maharashtra, and he said it wasn't actually to bring reprieve for the people who were, for all the businesses that were affected. He said it was a 2001 order, excise order, to denotify, these were demands of the Panchayat. So Ankita is joining me with some of the people who are affected there in Mumbai. Ankita, now the Excise Minister has very clearly said that they're moving ahead and denotifying. So are the local businesses very happy with that now?
Right, Sunetra. So let's go over to them. In fact, we have members from the Hotel Association. They own hotels over here. So let's find out what they think about this. Sir, the fact that the excise minister has in fact come out and said that we could be denotifying places, highways across Maharashtra, 3 districts where it's already been initiated, 5 districts, sorry. Mumbai also could be next. How do you feel about that?
We really appreciate their move because the highways need to be denotified. But as it is, they are not highways anymore now. Because you cannot drive your vehicle in more than 40 kilometers an hour. So there are no more highways as it is. So we do appreciate the excise minister's initiatives, and we hope that they come out with this diktat very soon, because the Supreme Court has given their diktat for 4% of fatal accidents, which are highly. And what about the 96% accidents that take place? Has the Supreme Court taken note of that? And have they given any instructions to curb those accidents?
So in terms of the business, how much has it taken a hit in these last 3 days?
The business has complete shutdown. It has come to a complete shutdown and standstill moment, and the employment that is gone. Now these are unskilled professionals which they have nothing to do now, and they are finding their ways out. How can we survive? And it is now by this 500 meter, a person, he knows I have to take a left or a right on the highway, and on the 501 meter I'm going to get alcohol. Previously, which was not there. People did not know about the rules and things. So now it is by this, there is no logic applied to this judgment.
So there you go, Sunetra. These are a few opinions that in fact the owners, the hotel owners and bar owners have here in Mumbai. Over to you.
Okay, and we will be just getting reactions. I know, Rahul, just very quickly before we take a break, Sagittarian, what he said about right to life trumping everything else. What would you say to that?
Any day, life is far more precious than revenues. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, what is drunken driving? It could happen outside my house. What is the highway to do with drunken driving? Drunken driving is the perennial problem. The cause is drunken driving. You create an enforcement. You go to Dubai, you go to Sheikh Zayed Road. That's a 16-lane highway. The entire commercial corridors lie on that. All the hotels lie on that. You dare drive after drinking. You dare.
Just by enforcement. So
that
enforcement, many people pointing out perhaps enforcement is key, and we haven't heard that from there. We're going to take a short break on agenda. When we come back, more reactions to this order, and we'll ask Mr. P.P. Rao, what could be the way out? Everyone's talking about a middle path. What could be that? Stay tuned. On agenda, we're talking about the impact of the highway liquor vends and the restrictions that have been put on them. All state governments now trying to work out a solution so that businesses won't get affected. P.P. Rao, is there a middle path there?
Now that the Supreme Court has laid down the norm of 500 meters, then that cannot be altered now. It can only be altered by the court if a strong case is made out and the court is convinced that this 500 meters is not to be enforced in certain cases. But then that is a very difficult course. But those who are affected, they should also appreciate one thing, that the court has to balance the interests of competing interests on all sides. Ultimately, in the scale of priorities, right to life becomes the more important factor. That is what has to be kept in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is there is no fundamental right to carry on business in liquor.
Yes, that's right. And it's significant coming from a lawyer who in court fought for these restrictions to be removed. So it's interesting it's coming from you, sir. Before we give the last word to our young students, you wanted to just add something, a line.
So see, I'm a professional and entrepreneur.
I wanted
really
to add
hard
one more sentence.
to create jobs, to kind of, put my entire fortune into this business. And, you to keep talking about ease of doing business, that's one matter. Just give me certainty of business. No matter how hard I have to work. There's no problem with that. We're working hard. Just give us certainty
And
of
perhaps
business.
that's what the Niti Aayog CEO also tweeted about when he criticized the order. Two young people, the last one on the show, what did you want to say?
So I just have one question here, that somebody who wants to actually consume alcohol, how does the 500-meter limit, restrain them from buying alcohol, going, somebody is driving for 700 kilometers, 1000 kilometers, how does that 500 limit stop them? Because they're anyway going to go and stock their cars. Secondly, why can't we have more statutory, why can't we have more checks and balances, where we have more booths, where checks are being made, laws being implemented more harshly?
Okay, so yeah.
And even it will promote the criminal activities, as alcohol will be sold in black. So how it matters ki it's 500 meter away or 1 kilometer away.
These are all issues which were discussed in Supreme Court as well, but the contrary view, the other side by which actually ruled, which the Supreme Court actually did, is with you. What did you want to say?
Giving, drinking alcohol doesn't give you a right to kill someone or to die.
That's right, and that's what the Supreme Court perhaps upheld as well. I just want to thank all my guests as we watch this space, because this story is going to develop as the protests carry on. Will the government actually find a solution or some kind of a plan to rehabilitate those who are impacted? Thanks to all my guests on Agenda. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Join us then. Bye.